Welcome into the Gramlich and McLean podcast, presented by Ingles, the official supermarket of Gramlich and McLean. Welcome to another week of season preview episodes. This is a huge week, Mac. We're releasing an episode every day because we have so many teams to talk about. And of course, we're going to kick off this week with the Miami Hurricanes, and we have a really exciting interview with Eric McLean's best friend, Mario Cristobal. So I can't wait for that. Mac was just in Coral Gables. He had his eyes on camp. We're going to get into it. But first, our dear friends over at Roback, you see me rocking my Roback. They are dropping a bunch of new schools, and they have just dropped Miami. So make sure you go check it out. Use our code. We have a new code for you guys. GM, G as in Gramlich, M as in McLean, 20. Use that code. You get 20% off of your first purchase. So Miami fans, get over there. These new collections are sick. They're releasing so many different ACC schools. They've released Clemson as well. They've released just so many. But Miami, go check out that collection. It's awesome.
Come on. It really is. It's great stuff. And here's kind of a little sneaky trick. They're going to be releasing more throughout the season. So stay with us. Get some stuff here. Use that code. Save some money and load up on your game day apparel. Let's go. This stuff is lightweight. It's beautiful. KG's wearing it right now. I wanted to represent Miami. It's not out yet. I don't have anything of yours yet. So we will, though, down the road. And can't wait. You can't wait either. Go check it out right now. GM20. Save you 20%, KG. Let's go.
Use it. We love it. Okay. Let's get into Miami here. As we said, we're going to talk with Mario Cristobal. But Mac, you were just there. You were down there at camp. You saw Carson Beck in person. You saw this offensive line that is getting so much buzz, Mac. So much buzz. The D-line as well. I saw a picture of you and Mario. For a split second, I thought you were holding hands because you guys are
not out of the question.
Your besties. Yeah. It's my favorite bromance. It's my favorite budding bromance in college football. Yeah. Eric McLean and Mario Cristobal. What did you see from Mario's squad?
Yeah, well, first of all, very similar to some other coaches, as you will see as we go along in this collection of interviews here and discussions of each of these coaches. He was confident. Mario Cristobal was confident. I think he knows, kind of what he has, and the team's just been building, right? When you see what this guy has done, build a successful program year after year after year, 5 wins, 7 wins, 10 wins. Now it's time for championships. It's time to kick the door down. It's time to be in the ACC championship game. It's time to be in the college football playoff. And let's make some noise. Let's go to work, and make that happen. And, I think the two biggest things that I wanted to see, KG, while I was there was a quarterback, Carson Beck. What did he look like? How was his arm? Was he able to push the ball down the field? Did he look like he knew what was going on within the offense? Check, 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 and check. I mean, this guy was on fire. The arm looked really live, pushing it downfield like laser beam type throws, and then also letting it rip bombs. I mean, there was a couple of long passes where, a corner cat, he saw it, alerted, bam, delivered a, 30, 40-yard strike down the field, and, a couple other plays that they were impressive, and they were fun to watch. And, I think what's interesting about this, situation, KG, and I just think it's a lazy, silly take that I've heard outsiders kind of throwing. Well, how is this? They're so different. Cam Ward and Carson Beck are so different. How is this Miami offense going to work? Let me just tell you, do you think a year ago that they thought, we're going to give Cam 10 seconds to throw the ball every time. We're going to ask him to run around in circles and do shovel passes and sidearm passes and across the body throws and dots. Do you think they asked that? Do you think that's the Miami offense? No, that's Cam Ward. That's what he does. That's how he can create. He was what the Miami offense turned into. Right. Now there's going to be a new iteration of what the Miami offense is going to turn into. Shannon Dawson is one of the best in the country at what he does. And to think that he cannot coach two very different style of quarterbacks independently in different years is very silly to me. And so I've seen that quite frequently, and I just kind of chuckle at it because I think it's Looney Tunes, to say something of that nature. It's going to be fantastic. And will it look the same? No, it won't. Right. I think that Carson is a guy that is going to be really pro style. He's going to be able to sell the fake handoffs, the play actions. I think he's going to be really good at adjusting plays, getting them into the right situation. And guess what? We might not see the dancing around for 10 seconds, laser beam sidearm pass, but what we might see is here, check right here, too high safety, inside run, boom, touchdown. we might see a guy that can operate within the offense, operate within the rules, of engagement here a lot better. And I think that's important. And I don't know if that'll equate to stats. I don't know if that'll equate to the gaudy numbers that Cam Ward had from a year ago, but I think Miami will be just as good and just fine offensively. And I think that's a really big deal. The second thing that I was very interested in seeing is, can the lines of scrimmage, offense and defense, be as dominant and overwhelming as I kind of visually think going into this thing? And that was a resounding yes as well. They are huge on the offensive line. They have great depth on the defensive line. And Akeem Mesidor looked the best he's ever looked in his life. I mean, he's ready. And I think he's healthy. I hope he's healthy. He did everything 100% full speed, tackling, all that. He and Reuben Bain can make some real noise this year. And those were kind of the two things that I was like, I got to see this. I need to know coming away, are they good in those areas? And it's a big old check mark yes.
Mac, I'm excited. You have me hyped up right now. This is exciting. And I think you're exactly right with Carson Beck. Like, especially these days when, if you're going to be in the business of going out and getting high profile transfer quarterbacks, which Miami seems to be, you can't just have a plug and play or a one size fits all approach on offense. You've got to cater to what that quarterback needs. So obviously we're going to see that. The O-line, I know you're excited about, Mac. We've heard a lot of good things. It looks like Carson Beck's going to have a lot of time to operate. My big question, and I want to know what you saw. I think this is the question everyone's asking. Josh Pate was talking about on our show. Who are the weapons, right? Who is Carson Beck really going to be targeting? We know Mark Fletcher. We know Elijah Lofton. Wide receiver, there's a lot of questions. Like, give me a few names that stood out to you in terms of targets.
Yeah, and that's huge importance, right? I mean, they're losing their top 6 pass catchers from a year ago, and that's a big deal. Who's going to step up to, fill those voids? But, man, they've recruited so well, and they went out in the portal and got a couple of experienced guys that have been there, done that, I think are ready to be stars and ready to play at a high level. Josiah Trader is a guy that looked really, really good. I think he could end up being, kind of the star of the show. CJ Daniels is big. He's a little bit bigger than I thought. The LSU transfer there that had a really, really good practice. Very just steady Eddie, in his approach. Chance Robinson had a couple of big plays. He's kind of, again, this depth chart, who knows what's real, what's not. He's kind of buried on the depth chart, but he stood out. Made some big plays from Carson. It's not like he was with the third team. And so made some plays there. But a guy that I think everybody in Miami from like locals perspective is juiced up about is Malachi Toney, the true freshman. And this guy is really well put together. I kind of asked for a comp, just who some of the staff and people, thought he could be like. And, I threw out Xavier Restrepo because they're similar build, and they said more explosive. Reliability, smart, yes, but more explosive, more speed, more juice. And that's exciting, right? And it's funny, we kind of asked when they said football knowledge, okay, what do you mean he's a freshman? They said, this kid's here we have to kick him out of the facility every night. Like, he's here watching film. He's so dedicated. And that's what's so cool, about these guys. When they understand the opportunity, I'm with Carson Beck. Let's go. Let me be ready to play. So will he start game one? I don't know. Will he play game one? Yes. And I think he's going to be a big, piece of this offense and be ready to go. I also like what I saw from Elijah Lofton. He's a little bit of a, undersized guy, but a weapon. I mean, he can make some things happen. And, I think he can be a mismatch problem, kind of moving around three back, tight end, however you want to kind of split him around.
Well, and you mentioned game one. Of course, that's Notre Dame. So no easing in to the schedule, to the season. All right, Mac, what did you see from Corey Heatherman, from our new defensive coordinator down there, who Mario Cristobal's children are afraid of? Did you, that's later in the, listen to our interview with Mario, you'll get it. Did it feel, because obviously the defense, like, they got to get better. That was the issue last year. If the defense was better, Miami would have been in the playoff at least. Who knows what they would have been doing. What did you see there?
Yeah, well, it's super unfortunate because the way, I'll peel back the curtain here for you guys, the way that these things work is we're recording during practice. And when we're not recording, obviously they're coaching. So I did not get the chance to meet him and say hello just because of the way the day went, because I really wanted to. And just because of his intensity, new guy, things of that nature. But I got to see the defense. And I got to see him operating up close and personal. And man, he has high expectations for this team. If something didn't look just right, do it again. Do it again. Somebody else get in here, do it right. And that accountability, I think, is really important. That defensive line, as I mentioned, is for real. And there's some pieces. Moten is a guy, number 99, that just exploded time and time again. I just saw him making big plays. Justin Scott looks like he's taken another step on the interior. I mentioned the two edge guys that are going to be freaky, but Marquise Lightfoot, there's some depth on that defensive line that I think is going to be very impressive. Excited to see them continue to take steps forward. But then the secondary, which was probably the absolute worst piece of the puzzle last year,
Right.
looked good, looked competent, looked like they were coming downhill in a hurry, making plays in the right spot, making, competitive plays or situations when we saw 11 on 11. And so I think that's going to be a big piece of the puzzle. I think Frederic is the best player on the team. I mean, he's just good. Looks the part, just a nasty dude. Will be interesting to see, do they just put him at, cornerback and let him lock down a side of the field? Do they move him to nickel, let him move around a little bit and have a little versatility there? But another guy that was really impressive to me was Jacoby Thomas, safety from Tennessee there. He was making some really physical collisions downhill in a hurry. It was one of those, like, there's a hole, now there's not. And he was doing some impressive things there. So I think the defense will be better. I think that they have a lot of talent across the entire team. Can they all come together for a common purpose? Can they understand it's go time? And I think they will. Talking to the leaders like Francis Maui Noah and Carson Beck and, just some of these guys, not Carson, but that have been there, have been recruited, were high-level players, and now are older players, like they get, we have got to do this. And again, we talk about internal pressure. The internal pressure in Miami will always be tenfold what you think the perceived outside pressure is. Like, those guys know, that staff knows, we've got to win. We have to play at a high level. We cannot do these silly things, coaching and playing wise. And we have to take this next step. And I think they feel that. And we'll see. I mean, as you said, it's my best buddy. So bias, whatever you want to call it. I think and we also say this every year, I'm identifying and calling out all of that. But I think Miami is ready to take a step.
When you say take a step, and when you say do this, I think what we really mean is you are playing for an ACC championship. Like, that is something that Miami hasn't done in a long time. I think 2017, and then they got blown out by Clemson. So that needs to happen. Mac, I just got to throw out this stat because I think this has been a difference maker for Miami as to why they have not done that. Mm-hmm. And then we'll hit the win total. Miami, for the last 3 years, one of their big struggles has been November, down the stretch. Yeah. They finished 1-3 in 2024, 1-4 in 2023, 1-3 in 2022. They haven't won a bowl game since 2016, which is crazy. Now, of course, what are bowl games? I know, Cam Ward, SATA, et cetera.
It's important. It's important.
But it's that November.
Yeah.
It's finishing. It's down the stretch. And I've seen all the, reports that they don't leave the state of Florida till November, which
is crazy.
We knew. We've been talking about that forever. And that's great for them. But then that November at SMU, Syracuse, NC State, at Virginia Tech, Pittsburgh, you will be favored in every game.
Yeah, but I will say that's a difficult stretch too, though.
A lot of road games.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hear that. But you've got to finish. And that's that's kind of leads into this win total of 9.5, right? Mm-hmm. If you're going to win, which they went 10-3 last year, of course, right. So do that again and you get the over. But if you're going to be playing for the ACC championship, you cannot stumble against NC State at home.
Right.
Syracuse, like last year. At Virginia Tech, that rivalry game, Virginia Tech fans obviously feel like they were robbed last year. At Pittsburgh, like, you've got to find a way, Max. So what's your initial thought on this win total, 9.5? I feel like you may be going.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say over, but again, that matters. Like, history matters. It's who you are, and it's what you do, and the fact that they don't travel, outside of the state of Florida until the hardest part of their history, and they do it a bunch, and it's good teams like. SMU is going to be great. You're going there. You're going to the Rhett Lashley Bowl, SMU versus Miami. Syracuse, we don't know what they're going to be, and they're probably going to be a bit down, so that's a nice one. NC State, I love CJ Bailey. You guys heard it last week. He is going to be excited that he gets to go back home to Miami, play the Hurricanes, who probably didn't offer him out of high school, and show out. He's going to be juiced for that game. At Virginia Tech, the rivalry, Inter Sandman.
Always tough.
What is Virginia Tech that late in the season? Who knows? Those fans will still be there.
All they want to do is beat Miami, though. All they want to do is beat Miami.
Right. So that's going to be a crazy environment. Pittsburgh at the end of the year environment, we'll see. Not historically a crazy thing there, but it's going to be cold. And I think Pittsburgh's going to be good. That's going to be a brutal finish, but also what an opportunity for you to be playing your best football against really good opponents to go to the ACC championship and the college football playoff. Mm-hmm. And so I still am going over. It's not going to be easy, though. And Carson Beck's going to have to play out of his mind. But the biggest thing for me, and we're about to get to coach here, hang on, is lines of scrimmage. Like, I know quarterback play is always the most important thing. But I think if Miami is playing for an ACC championship, it is because their 2 lines of scrimmage overwhelmed everybody they played. And I think they have that ability to do so.
And to me, that means they have to stay healthy.
Correct.
Because they haven't been able to keep Ruben Bain healthy and all these different types of things. If I truly was a betting woman, I would not touch this win total with a 10-foot pole.
No, you wouldn't
because
just go
9.5, Vegas knows exactly what they're doing. I mean, you could easily see this Miami team going 9-3. You could easily see them going 10-2, which is what they did last year. I guess I'll buy into the hype, Mac. I want it for your boy. I want it for your best friend in Mario Cristobal. We do love Mario. He's great. They have the talent. Like, they have the pieces. I don't think there's going to be that big of a drop-off offensively. I think the defense has to be better. So we'll see. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Miami does here. Of course, we'll learn a lot. Notre Dame, week 1.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
Which is great.
Mac, I'm gonna let you. We're gonna get to a message from our great friends at Ingles, but I need you to introduce your guy.
I can do that. My best friend, former offensive line, Mario Cristobal. It was great talking with him. It was great talking to him in person. Great talking to him here. He did such a great job for us. Revealed a couple of fun things.
Yeah.
But it's always great to talk to the Mario Cristobal. So really quickly, a message from our friends over at Ingles. It's tailgate time, y'all. Get ready. Let's go. They're going to tell you all about it. And then we're going to get to the head man himself, Coach Mario Cristobal.
Did you know that Ingles sells more organics than any other store? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA choice and prime meat? Did you know that they have more local craft beer than any place else? Or that they have Energy Smart stores? Or that they professionally slice and package imported cheese from Europe? Did you know about their giant international aisle, local farm partnerships, curbside pickup, wine department? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Let's start there. Let's start about that big offensive line because, I think that they have a shot to be one of the best in the entire country. And, I say that to anybody, not that I'm just talking to the head coach here, but I see it led by and kind of the headliner and Francis Maui-Noa, who, has been a first-round pick since he was born, and now it's kind of maybe his final form. I know he could come back, but it's probably his final form that we'll see from him. And then, other guys that I remember last year, you just saying, hey, these guys are a couple months away. This guy's a year away. And now it's that time. And, here they go. This offensive line has a chance to be really, really good, I think, Coach.
No, I'm with you 100%. They are the right mentality, the right DNA. Their work ethic is off the charts. Coach Mirabal has a very regimented developmental system, and these guys they're always bought in. In fact, they end up being really good teachers for the young guys. So what you see is a group that's extremely motivated, tough, and physical and talented. And we've developed some really good depth, guys that are going to be prominent players this year in some way, shape, or form. And then in the coming years, we expect them to, again, elevate the standard even more. So really exciting time for this group. We expect big things out of them.
Mac, I'm not shocked that we started O-line. We really don't do that with anyone else, but we do that with Coach Cristobal and you on the same podcast. Coach, I think the question a lot of Miami fans are wondering is, of course, Carson Beck, his health. We know what he's capable of, 24-3 at Georgia. Like, the guy's a winner. That O-line, their job is to protect him. What can you tell? I know we're only recording this on July 17th, just to reference that for people, but what can you tell us about your QB and his health and how things are going there?
Well, he's 100% healthy, and he has been. So he's been working out with the team.
Awesome.
Since we started our summer workouts. So he's had plenty of reps in our player-led practices from 7-on-7 to team reps. There are no limitations on him. There haven't been any limitations on him. So what you see is a very experienced guy. He really understands the game inside and out, the back end, the front end, the line of scrimmage. He understands blocking schemes. He understands where he's protected, how he's protected, if he's protected. and he understands what to get us into if we need a safety valve of some sort, due to a play call not matching up to what he's seeing on the other side. He's got great energy to him. People wonder always, hey, when you bring in a transfer, what's it going to be like? We feel we're getting the best version of Carson Beck. He's motivated in the right way, and by that I mean it's all the focus is on here and now, on Miami, and helping Miami win and helping Miami get better. And he's keeping team first in his mentality. So, yeah, we're beyond fired up to watch him play. And you know what? Quite honestly, I'm excited about the quarterback room because none of those guys are weak. They're not taking a back seat. They've been told, look, like any other position, you guys are competing, and the entire room's had a great summer.
Yeah, and that's exciting to see, right? You want competition to kind of breed and everybody get the best version of themselves. And when their time comes, who knows? That could be after the first snap. That could be after an entire year. But they could and need to be ready. Coach, the thing that I've heard from everybody, yourself, people that cover Miami, people that were at Georgia, is Carson's football IQ is extremely high. And all those things that you just kind of referenced there, how will it feel, I guess, to go from the first overall pick in Cam Ward, who we saw it, right? We saw him make adjustments, do the things that he could, and Coach Dawson, their great relationship. That transition, I think, will be really seamless. What have you seen from him and just absorbing this knowledge and being ready for that entire playbook day one?
Yeah, we were impressed right away. And it's kind of ironic, at this time last year, Carson was more of a projected number one guy overall.
Right.
And was more of a fifth, sixth.
I think people forget that too, Coach. I think he's going to wake a lot of people up this year.
Imagine that, people forgetting in football, right? So, it was kind of, the roles were reversed. It was a different script. And Cam had all the tools and the heart and the want and desire. The supporting cast in the system was what he needed. And he got that here. And I think, and Carson had great success at Georgia. And then last year he got really banged up and, things were a little bit off on a great football team. And I think what he has found here is a system that really fits him. He is really, really smart. And the position anywhere, certainly in this offense, requires it to have a guy that can really run it like a coordinator can while he's on the field. He loves the O-line. He loves his weapons, his skill guys. He's just been really, really happy in a challenged way. Like, we're pushing him, we're grinding on him, but he's really pleasantly just surprised at how good of a supporting cast he's going to have and how much energy is in the building on a daily basis.
Well, speaking of that, supporting cast, you look at your running back room. Mark Fletcher's back. Jordan Lyle, who last year as a freshman had some great spurts. That South Florida run comes to mind, right? What have you seen from your running back room and maybe some other names you expect to step up to?
Well, we expected that out of Jordan Lyle, and we expect him to have a monster year this year as well. We've been fortunate the last couple of years. Our freshman running backs have been tops, like top 5 in the country in yards per carry, and giving them experience and also really, I guess, throwing them into the fire as it relates to protections, a screen game and whatnot. These guys have matured quickly. And they don't need much time. They are talented guys. They're very enthusiastic about their approach to football. And they all want the ball, of course, but they understand that splitting it and sharing time is the best way to maximize the team's potential. So, yeah, that room's got everybody excited. Marty Brown coming in. I mean, Mac, you would love this now.
That's a big cat, man. That's a big dude.
You watch that offense run power, counter, stutter O, power O extra, ISO, wham, slam.
Yeah.
He's run it all.
Yeah.
Every gap scheme, every zone scheme, every man scheme. And he's a 220-pounder that can flat out roll. People forget, we signed Gerard Pringle, who was one of the fastest players in the state of Florida. And he's now healthy, and he's back there giving us great work. Chris Wheatley-Humphrey was a great athlete in high school who's really coming into his own and is going to get touches as well. And he's going to play a lot of special teams for us. So overall, that running back room has got everybody excited.
It's extremely deep, and I think the great thing about that is you're saving your legs as a star player and a guy like Mark Fletcher, who probably is running out there first for the whole year, and you can be that guy the whole year, which I think is important, and certainly he knew that and is comfortable and cool with that when Damian Martinez came in last year and understands what that can be for him. But man, to have the versatility that you do in these running backs, that's what is really exciting to me, and to be that power team that can air it out It's dangerous and it's hard to stop. Talking about airing it out, it's no secret you guys lost, a bunch of great talent, top 6 pass catchers that are amazing, doing great things in the NFL or decided to move on. I have to think that there's guys waiting in the wings. You've recruited at a very high level, and now it's those guys' opportunity. What have you seen from the wide receiver group, the pass catchers, I'll throw tight ends in there as well, that makes you confident they're ready for this opportunity?
Well, I forgot to mention, you mentioned Mark Fletcher. I couldn't stop thinking about it while you went out to the wide receivers because.
Hey, I know he's there. Trust me. I know what time it is.
Well, you know what? This is Mark Fletcher's first fully healthy offseason. So he has trained like an absolute stud. He is 226, 228 pounds, lean. He's faster than he's ever been, stronger than he's ever been, and healthy. So really excited to see him. And then, it leads also now to what you mentioned, the wide receivers. We lost a lot of production there. And, it's our guys, they got to go out and prove it. I could say that what we've seen here from our guys, confidence is extremely high that we can have the same type of production that we've had in that last year and other years when Miami's been really good because of, like you mentioned, we've recruited at a high level. They've been developing, and now systematically, we are really in a groove now. We understand what we're trying to do, how we're trying to do it, why we're doing it that way. We're really just ingrained and entrenched in what our schematic purpose is. And so you name it. I mean, so many guys have had a really good spring and a great summer. Competition is it's thick. It's going to be it's going to be an extremely competitive room with guys that can flat out run, that have great hands, that can track the ball really, really well. And all of them understand clearly they have to be able to block. You don't block, but we were the number, top 2, top 3 passing team in the country last year. And numbers like that are hard to replicate. On this side over here, confidence is high that we will have an elite offense both in the run and in the pass.
Coach, I remember we talked to you in the spring. We were talking about your new defensive coordinator, Corey Heatherman, and you said that your son was scared of him, at least initially. So I need to know, is he still scared of him? And how has Corey fit in so far? What's he doing with that defense?
Well, it's one of those things, he's like, he calls me Papa because, when you're Cuban, you always call everybody Papa. He's like, Papa. Is this the guy that we got? I'm like, yeah. He's like, man.
I'm terrified. Yeah. I would tell him I was scared too, okay? I was scared for everybody else as well.
It's like, I would do what that guy says,
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I think what people don't know about, or maybe they do know about Corey Heatherman, he's just an unbelievable human being. Like, awesome guy. Awesome dude. Awesome colleague. A guy that, whatever job needs to be done, he's going to do it. Here's a defensive coordinator who, if he has to go out of his way because he sees that someone has to finish folding up the chairs and clear the space for some other, he's going to run over there and do it. He's a servant leader, and he is brilliant. He's extremely organized and detailed, regimented. I think he's an off-the-charts teacher. I think his teaching progression, his tackling teaching progression, schematically what he does is something that we've been needing at Miami. We've kind of made our way there. We had an uptick, and then we went and had an issue last year. And I think this is the right man at the right time. And he fits us. He fits our personnel. We're built to be, a little bit more of a 4-down front and more versatile, and I think he allows us to do that.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question that's how you're built. I keep mentioning recruiting. You've been, the best of the best in the ACC the last 3 years, and you've done it at such a high level. And a bulk of that, has been the lines of scrimmage. Trench warfare is at a premium, and you guys understand that. This defensive line, similar to the offensive line, has a shot to be one of the best in the conference, maybe the best in the conference. I can't wait to see those guys going at it in practice, and you get the privilege of that each and every day. What are your expectations from those guys? Because there's a couple of guys that I think, and again, I'm not there every day. Everyone knows that. But it's time for them to take a step. It's time for them to be the guy that they were brought to Miami to be.
No doubt. I'm 100% on board with you. That's why you do it. And, you look back, man, and time flies, right? You get here in 22 and you go out to practice and you're like, oh, man, we got a lot of work to do. And, that's a position, those guys aren't like receivers and running backs where you can plug them in, 2 months after prom. These guys, for the most part, got to lift and run and develop and grow. And we've made so much progress. And like you said, guys up front, like Ahmad Moten needs to take a massive step. We're going to push him to do so because he's capable of it, and we believe that he can. Justin Scott coming off a really good freshman year. We expect really big things from him. A guy that we got in the offseason, David Blay, is an extremely talented 310-pounder that could flat out roll. And we expect him to be like an excellent player for us, right now. About Ruben and Akeem and all those other guys, but I mean, you've got guys also, Artavius Jones, Dalen Russell. People don't mention Dante Simpson. That's one of the best freshmen we've signed here. A lot like OJ Frederick was a year ago. No one knew about him. He's a freshman All-American. I'm not putting my man Dante there yet, but I can tell you that when you're a 300-pounder and you're not afraid to just throw it up in there and you play recklessly with your body, but you play within the system, and you're a young guy, you're not afraid to mix it up with a Nez Cooper and CC Mino and those guys. Okay.
Yeah.
You've instantly
It's
got
impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Armando Blunt, we expect him to have a massive year, a massive uptick in his production as well. So there's a lot of guys to talk about, and I don't want to cheat them and mention a couple and not go on. But yes, we do expect our team to be led by the guys up front.
Well, let's talk about those two you mentioned, Ruben and Akeem Mesidor, who everyone knows, right? And these guys are two of the best in the country. What have you seen from each of them this offseason in a year that could be very big for them, of course? And of course, if they have a great year, you guys have a great year too.
Yeah, the best thing we've seen is they've applied themselves to discipline at the training table because they both have trimmed down 275 and 270, and their body fats are down, their explosiveness. I mean, they're both north of 350 in the power clean area. They're in the best shape of their careers, or the healthiest they've been in their careers. They've bought into everything, the sleep part of it, nutritional side, vitamin supplementation. They've approached the offseason like two professionals. And we expect those guys, their versatility, their knowledge of the game, their experience, log reps, is going to play a huge factor in our success.
Coach, it seems like this year is extremely important. At the end of the day, you're a winner, right? It's what you do. You're one of very few coaches with multiple conference titles wins. The trajectory is clear as all get out, where you go from 5 to 7 to 10. And it seems like that there's a real opportunity here to make some noise and to do what you expect from yourself, just holistically from this team. And your feel, if we snap the ball today, how ready is this team to go and play for some championships?
We're ready for practice number 1. I know that.
Hey, that's what's first. That's what's first.
No doubt. And by practice 29, we'll be where we need to be to play. We continue to elevate the expectations for ourselves and the program. We're on a real consistent and strong trajectory, and there's no slowing down. There's a really strong appetite to get better and take that next step and compete and play for and win championships. And so, and the only way to do that is handle one step at a time, man. Don't skip over those steps. Don't try to. If not, you may trip and fall.
And it is July. We'll give you that too, Coach. This isn't August 30th right here. But speaking of openers, you guys open with Notre Dame. I mean, this is a huge game. We were talking about it off air. The ACC is in so many of these big games in opening weekend. What does this mean for your program? We know the rivalry there. I know you're not trying to make too much of it, but this is a massive game for Miami and for college football.
Oh, without a doubt. I think everybody knows that. And it's such a big, it's such an incredible opportunity for our program that that's going to take care of itself come game week. As the big guy knows, I can't be baited into talk about an opponent before game week. We know, and I think it's great when you have that on the schedule because you can say what you want as a coach, say, hey, let's focus on today or whatnot, but everybody knows the opportunities that await us, and the only way to perform to your best levels is to prepare as hard and as best as you possibly can. So, yeah, we, was part of that rivalry, more so as a spectator. It was more of a red shirt. I didn't get to play in the games like you would want to play. But certainly here at Miami as a player, when that rivalry was really, really rolling. So, no, I'm sure the excitement, the juice surrounding that thing will be through the roof. Yeah.
to say the least. It's going to be big time game, big time fun. Can't wait to see it, brother. Can't wait to see you in a week and then in a couple of weeks down at practice. Always grateful for your time, Coach. Thanks to you.
Appreciate you guys. Have a great day.